I thought I'd take this very rare opportunity to go round the Golf 8, the GTI Clubsport, and compare it a little bit to my 7R, which you can just see here. Nice and clean in the sun as well. Mine's a Mark 7, a 2017 car. This is a 2021 Golf GTI Clubsport. And what do you think? Which one would you have? Let me go for a quick walk around both. You decide. 18-inch wheels on both, standard fit cars, flat, solid white paint on this car, twin exhausts. It's unlocked itself because I've got near it, so the mirrors will open. Cool spoiler. Mine doesn't quite have that, my 7R. Oh, it looks cool, doesn't it, guys? Looks so cool. And if we go close up front, you get the GTI badge, you get the IQ lights, get the red bar. It looks mega. And then you've got mine, my 7R, in limestone grey, looking good. Two cars together in the sun. I've just driven the GTI Clubsport and I'm blown away. 3-door in this and a manual for this. I kind of wish that was a 3-door and a manual, but it's not. Well, quad exhaust pipes on mine. Crazy day. Which one do you prefer? You'll have to let me know in the comments. Which one would you have? I've driven both. Let me know in the comments if you want to know a little bit more about them and check out my reviews. Oh, I love these cars. What more do you need than a Golf? What more do you need than a Golf? Blown away. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the walk around of those two cars. My 7R, which I'm sitting in today, and the GTI Clubsport, the Golf 8. I mean, yeah, it was pretty surreal. Yeah, as I've said before, please check out my full review on that. And yeah, obviously I've done plenty of content on this car as well. I had a lot of comments come off the back of that, and I thought it'd make more sense to kind of sit here and just finish that off and kind of give you an idea of what I felt about that GTI Clubsport. I'm kind of comparing it to this as well, because this is my kind of daily driver. I've had it for 4 years. I've done 30,000+ miles in it, so I know it pretty well. The one thing I want to say about that GTI Clubsport while it's fresh in my mind, that first drive, it very much reminded me of my Fiesta ST, my Mark 7, that sort of lightweight, front wheel drive, go get 'em kind of attitude, and definitely an entertainer for sure. Definitely entertaining, and I think that's good. I think it was obviously still more compliant than that car, but certainly noticeably, despite the smaller wheels, it was like I said in the review, it's on its toes kind of thing. It was that kind of excitement. It was ready to go, and yeah, it was great. And actually, off the back of that, I had a little check to see what sort of deals they got. I won't reveal what the subscribers and the owners, their kind of packages are. They're, you know, it sounded pretty good, but that's for them. And I've seen a GTI Clubsport online for just over 30,000 with very low miles. I think that's a pretty good bargain. And when you're kind of comparing it to the 8R, that's a lot of money off for, well, yeah, for a lot of the performance. And arguably, it was the more entertaining car. Now, that's great. For me, I would still slightly edge the Golf 8R, and this is a question that I had quite a lot of, and I did reply to as many people as I can because I love you guys and in the comments and the subscribers. You know, fundamentally these reviews have come from you. They've come from the subscribers. So, as I've said, like, share, subscribe. That's all you kind of have to do to help the channel. That's it basically. The rest will take care of itself. And yeah, what an amazing kind of couple of drives I've had recently. The R was definitely, the more that I think about it, looking back and obviously editing those videos for quite a bit and making sure they're all right, is that the R felt, it actually felt a little bit quieter, certainly at a cruise. Now that I'm going back to it and I've watched the two footages back on the same kind of day, and I was like, hang on, the R wasn't as loud. The R was not as loud. And I did mention that with the exhaust, but in general, in terms of like that whole chilled out nature, it was probably the better daily. It would get the edge on that. And obviously the 4-wheel drive, it doesn't matter if traction control's on, it's, you know, it's never going to spin up its wheels, so it just shoots away. The one thing I'd stress, and I said I stand by it, in my 7R, and I spoke to owners about this before in the 8R, it's so easy to turn off traction control and stuff like this, it's just a button. With this, you have to go through menus and stuff like that. I think if you turn off traction control and stick it in sport mode, race mode, whatever it is, you're done really. That's going to get the most out of the GTI Clubsport, and it was a ton of fun. I'd get in that car every day of the week and have a great time. And it was you know, it was a special car in that regard. But the R for me, it has that whole package where it's kind of 90% as fun as the kind of way it is with the R, but just 99% as good in so many other areas compared to so many other cars. And I think that's just a trait that is very difficult to kind of beat. So it probably is worth the little step up. But I get the GTI, I get the Clubsport, and a brilliant car at that. So yes, fantastic. And actually, if you have a standard GTI, potentially in a manual, do let me know on Instagram. You know, just be a small drive, you know what I'm kind of like, and yeah, see if we can get something sorted. I'm chatting to a few people as well, and you know, see what can happen. Hey, you just never know. So would I buy it? I would definitely buy a GTI Clubsport. No question, it's great. Comparing it to the 7R, which is what this kind of video is about, the one that I'm in, I absolutely love this car. One of the reasons is I don't have that much cash sunk into it. Okay, used prices, it's a seller's market at the moment, if that makes sense, in the world, in the UK specifically. So I don't know what this car is worth, maybe £16,000, something like that. But to me, it's worth a lot more because obviously I've owned it since virtually new. You know, I know its ins and outs, I know what I've done with the car, so it's worth a lot more to me. And that's great. And I've owned it outright since I purchased it, so it doesn't owe me anything. And actually doing these kind of little adventures in some ways of seeing owners, having a chat with them, trying the cars. I like this car as kind of like that support car. I mean, it's a great car to go up and down in. Very comfortable, very an easy cruiser. Like I talked about the 18-inch wheels, I think that's the way to go. You're better off having 18s than going for 19s where you possibly need DCC. So you're stacking up the costs, if that makes sense. Not that the 19s were uncomfortable, but it's just they weren't as comfortable is the best way to kind of look at it. GTI Clubsport was certainly like clinging on. It would, yeah, I just, it made such a great noise as well. That exhaust, that was a real surprise on a 2021 car. Obviously being stuck in lockdown like we all have, you hear just like, oh yeah, cars are ruined basically. They're not ruined, they're still great. They're still loads of fun, and that was great to see. And yeah, you know, both owners of the 8R and the GTI Clubsport are lucky as anything. So if you are, I've got a lot of Mark 7 owners in here, don't feel shortchanged. That's the one thing that I would say. You know, you've got to be sitting pretty to a point. You know, you've got to be sitting there in your Mark 7, whether it's a GTI 40th anniversary, TCR, or a Golf R, or a 7.5 facelift, whatever. Just remember, those cars are a lot more expensive. And I know people get stuff on finance and lease and all that stuff, but you're still, you know, it's still 40 grand. It's as simple as that. There's no other way of looking around it. Whereas these, even a good one of these, you know, 20s, so it's half the money, and they're not double the car. That's my argument. But saying that, anyone who does step up, whether it's to a GTI Clubsport or to an 8R, fantastic. You know, all the stuff that I'd kind of done videos on in the past, yeah, it certainly was like, it was great to try them, and I had high expectations. You know, fundamentally, I said to both owners, if I don't like it, I'd say I don't like it. I'm not here to please everyone kind of thing. If I personally didn't like it, I would say I didn't like it. And that's why I kind of did the face review. Because if I'm sort of sitting there going, oh, this isn't that good, oh, I better fake it, you'd see that I'm faking it. And that's something where you only get that chance once, and that's why those first drives mean quite a lot, and they're worth checking out if you haven't checked them out, because it gives you an impression if you're making the right choice. And to be honest with you, if the finance and whatever figures add up to you, yeah, I can comfortably recommend both. Which one I'd go for just depends on what you want from a car. If you're not using a car that much, I'd probably go for the Clubsport. If you want that one car to do everything, I'd go for the R. So that's probably my choice. Saying that, on the flip side of it, the Clubsport is so comfortable as well. You could use it every day. And the R, you could just have it as that special car. It just depends. Do you like front wheel drive? Do you like four wheel drive? Make up your mind on that thing. I still think a manual gearbox would have been nice, particularly in the GTI Clubsport. As for looks, you know, I did that walk around at the start of this little shorter video, and yeah, it looked nice. That red, you feel like you're getting a little bit more for your money with the GTI Clubsport. That, even just the red stripe and some of the little extra red GTI touches, the red calipers, yeah, it did look the part, it really did. Whereas the R's just always been a little bit, yeah, toned down really. I mean, I know mine's in limestone grey, it's not a particularly exciting colour in that regard, but it works well for me. It blends in quite nicely. I hope that answers some of your questions. I know I've sort of gone on to another like 10+ minute video. I've tried to answer as many questions as I can. Hopefully those first impressions give you a good impression. I can recommend them both. And the Golf, man, you know, I'm telling you, as soon as things are a little bit better, those cars, you know, they're just so much better than the SUVs and the bigger stuff that you see around. And they're just as fast and just as nimble as a sports car on the right road. Either one of them are brilliant. Why do you think I talk about them so much over the last couple of years? And I'm glad you've enjoyed those kind of reviews and hopefully taken something off that. I know a few people have come to me straight away and said, oh, you know what, that's why I'm going for it. I'm going to go for the performance pack now for the R. You know what, Sam? I'm going to go for the GTI Clubsport. Oh, I've got my test drive this Friday. Thank you for sharing this insight. That sort of stuff means a lot to me. And I'm glad it was useful to you lot as well. One person said, which one's faster, the 8R or the GTI Clubsport? I would say the 8R is faster because it's easier. It's just, it will always put its power down. But then if you want to get specific, I checked out Nürburgring lap times. What was the 8R? The 8R was like a 7:51, I think. And the GTI Clubsport was like a 7:54. So there's like a couple of seconds in it around us, you know, nearly an 8-minute lap. It's nothing. There's nothing between them at all. GTI Clubsport helped by its lack of weight. The R helped by its added traction and added power. But I'm going to sign off where it's not windy and where it's not dark of that little walk around of these two fantastic cars. And if you can make the numbers work, do it. But yeah, the sevens are still great. They're still absolutely brilliant. So don't think you're missing out or you're going to get something which is like, this is a complete game changer. It's not a game changer. It's better, but it's incrementally better. That's the best way to do it. Let's join me back outside in the sun straight after that drive. As you can probably tell, blown away by these two cars. They're unbelievable to drive. That is something special. That is something really, really special. Lost for words. Like, share, subscribe. That's all you have to do to get more content like this. I'm going to have to sit down and have a chat with the owner, I think. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.